Sure.
And I'm IJ.
Last minute that we're gonna do another show for you guys.
Yes.
But we just started, put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
Own. This is season 2, so we're gonna tell you guys what the premise of the show is, and then we're gonna introduce the characters, and then we're just gonna do our take on like how this first episode went. So let's start it.
Okay.
Okay, so put a ring on it. This is a show about, or it's a reality show. 3 couples come on the show. They're not married, not engaged. One of the parties in the couple wants to get married. They've been in long-term relationships. And so they come onto this show to kind of put their relationship to the test. They're going to date other people openly, so that they're going to meet the people that each other dates. They'll have the opportunity to go on multiple dates with the same person or choose to date another person, but is, I guess, to see if they're really in the relationship that they want to be in.
Right. Of course, it's just not a free-for-all. There are no rules, but it's Nicole LaBeach. It's either LaBeach or LaBeach. She is with this gorgeous ponytail. She's the master relationship expert on the show. I don't know if I truly agree. I personally don't agree with the process that they're going through. I know some people do, but I personally don't agree with it. And from what I'm seeing so far, it does not look scripted. It looks like it's for real. It's unscripted.
Yeah. It shouldn't be scripted though.
You know how some reality TV shows are scripted. This one seems unscripted. But yet, like you said.
I mean, I feel like if you have to, relationships are hard. So I think it gets kind of tough when you've been in a relationship with someone for years and like you don't want to just quit and give it up. So maybe that's why they're going through this process.
But there's something stopping you from not getting married.
Yeah. And if you have to like kind of force someone or put an ultimatum on it, I think that kind of answers the question itself. Like,
totally agree.
Make someone, commit to you, then, what's the point?
Right. The commitment should come
naturally. It should be something they want to do, that they're eager to do, that they,
right.
And so, but it's definitely entertaining though.
It is entertaining, it is. But I do have to ask, why in the world do you need to go out with other people to know if you're going to me,
what else would you do? So
you have to come to that extreme. Is it time to let it go?
But listen, if this is your show and 3 couples are coming on the show to kind of explore whether or not they're going to commit to one another, what would you do to help them figure that out? Like, what would your show be like?
My show would be like, first, let's find out why you're together. Find out what's prohibiting you from coming together. And that's where people need to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be completely
honest. Yours would be more like a kind of a premarital counseling type of show.
Right.
Just talk.
Yes. And it would be separate. The counseling would not be together. It would be separate because people tend to be more open and honest when the other partner's not there. It would be separate and really dig down into why. Ask every time they give you a reason, dig down to that reason, the 5 whys, to find out why. I don't believe having somebody date other people, see your partner with other people, and so forth. That doesn't make for a strong relationship. What it makes for is anger, resentment, feeling of fear. It's so much.
Yeah, I definitely think that, they do start to become fearful because that the person will find that their significant other will find something in someone else that they don't have in them or that they're looking for. But
and you know what, Christian? Think about it. If you're in a relationship for 3 years, 4 years, or longer. Meeting somebody new is exciting. Having somebody new say, "Oh my God, you're beautiful," you start acting like a little girl.
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are. Like that wouldn't do anything to me. I mean,
Oh,
into the person that like my significant other, I wouldn't want that from somebody else. I would want it from them, you know?
oh, totally agree.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I do think there are, I guess it really depends on what type of person you are. Cause some people really just want attention, really crave, you know, that type of thing. And I'm not like, for me, I just would want that from the person that I'm in a relationship with.
Me too. Me too.
A random person, even if the person's attractive, like that really doesn't do anything for me, you know?
No, attractive men. We're both attractive women. Men come and hit on us all the time. To me, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's
Yeah, they
when
don't hit on me, but
when my husband hits on me that I become like a schoolgirl, like an idiot.
right.
Like I don't have no sense. But I guess that's why I don't really like the premises of the show, because I don't know what it really shows you, unless if you have a fear.
I mean, I think that's the point. Maybe it shows you that you don't want, I guess, that you know, because some people stay in relationships just because you've been in it for so long and you put so much work and effort into it. So maybe it's just showing them that maybe it would show a person who doesn't want to commit that this isn't the relationship for them.
Okay. Yeah. And I think maybe the other thing, I don't want to give it credit, but I will, is that maybe it does show somebody that you can trust the other person.
That too, because yeah, there are no boundaries except for
There's no rules
for yourself. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's talk about the couples. So we have 3 couples. We'll start with Alexia and Darion. So Alexia is a retired professional basketball player, and then Darion is a rapper, and he was in the group Field Mob in the early 2000s. They've been in an off and on relationship for 14 years, and they met in the club, and that's kind of where things sparked. So I think did she say when she was in college? They met in the club when she was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So she worked there. She was a bartender or something. She worked in the club. So this couple, what do you think about this couple?
And she said that he kissed her, that they started kissing within 20 minutes of being in the club, and he's like, no, it was 5. I don't, 14 years is a long time, girlfriend, right?
Listen, off and on, I guess, because 14 years straight out,
it was off and on. I guess they've known each other for 14 years, and she was overseas with basketball. He was touring with his stuff, and now they're settled in. They look like a married couple.
I would like to know how long they've been in, since they're both, I mean, he shouldn't be touring and retired. So I wonder how long they've been in, I guess, this phase of their relationship.
Right.
Maybe count it from there, maybe.
Mm-hmm, I agree with you. Something about him is, I don't know, off, kind of.
Off in what way?
Like, he's not, I don't know him by any means. I don't know if I could trust him.
Okay.
Because he's used to groupies throwing themselves at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to all that kind of stuff. And now he's retired, older, and now he's going to get to date some young chick. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Let's talk about his date. So he went on a date with, her name was Kai.
Mm-hmm.
And she came to the house. I have something to say about this. Okay.
Go ahead.
If a woman is coming over to my house to take my husband or I guess it would be my boyfriend on a date, I'm gonna look good. I'm not gonna be laying on the couch with a laptop or wherever she had. And her, like, I don't know if it's her closure or, I'm not like into the weaves that well, but this part of her hair was just kind of like sticking up. And I mean, the woman Kai complimented her and said she looked beautiful, which was nice. I do think she was a pretty girl, but I would look good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't look like done up or anything, like I'm going somewhere, but I would look cute. And my hair would be done.
Mm-hmm. When what Kai wore on that date was a bit kind of revealing. She has that hourglass shape.
Yeah.
And she had that cutout, that large cutout in the middle section.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's on the sides. It was a cutout on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
And her shape was just all feminine, kind of shape. Yeah, I would have felt some type of way, especially when I saw how happy he was when she got to the door. Yeah.
He said that they really, the women that he goes on a date with really needs to try to take him from his girl. Like,
Kai was working it. She not working it? Kai was working it. I was just watching her and she do that little flirting thing. Yeah, she was working it. I was just like, and he was eating it all up. Just eating it up. What makes him think I just met you? What makes him think that she's truly going to be all up in him? Has he looked at himself in the mirror lately? He's an older gentleman in her 20s or early 30s at the most. And he's probably in his 40s, 50s.
Ooh, so what? 50s. What was his Darion? I'm gonna look it up.
Mm-hmm. So what makes him think that she's right off the bat? But I guess girls are like that. Some girls are like that. But it made him want to like do more with her. And he was all hand on his face, acting like he was just struggling to stay faithful. Yeah, I didn't like that. But I also like the fact that he didn't do anything.
What do you mean?
He didn't kiss her. He didn't anything. He wasn't.
I mean, I would hope not on the first date. Like, have some. I mean, don't do it on any other dates, but definitely have some respect on the first date. Because one of the other women, I think Jessica, basically she said, "You set the tone. On the dates first. So whatever you do, expect for that to come back to you. So you."
What did you think about Alexia's reaction
to the girl?
To the date, after the date, when he came home trying to tell her about the date. What do you think about her reaction?
Girl, I don't even remember. What did she, was she the one who didn't want to hear about it?
She didn't want to hear about it. She got up, cussed him out, left the house.
See, that's what I don't understand. It's like, okay, you knew what you were doing when you came out.
You knew what you were doing.
You're going to do the same thing. So why? I mean, I feel like if you're going to do something like this, like you said, it's something very drastic. It's something that traditionally people wouldn't do in a relationship. But if you're going to agree to do it, you need to like be
Get your big girl panties on and deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that's uncomfortable. You don't want your significant other to be out on dates with other people, especially if you're in a monogamous relationship. But, I think I would ask questions. I would be like a question asker. So how was it? What y'all talk about?
Girl, I would have been all up in it.
Did you like her?
Like her? What did she say? Oh, you did like what she said about that? Why did you like that? I say those things too. Oh, but it sounds different to you.
Now
I would be all up into it. What I do think that he did right was he came to tell her everything, how he felt, what was going on, what he liked, but she wasn't listening. She was taking it personally, but he was saying it brought back feelings of what we were like when we were going out. We were younger. And that's the truth. Of course it would bring back those type of feelings. But he wasn't saying it was with this girl. He's saying she was bringing those feelings out. And we've been together for so long that we've lost those feelings. So she should have said, like, okay, he's missing those feelings. I need to think about what do I need to do to help him feel that way again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely good when a guy can communicate his feelings.
And he was.
Yeah, communication is definitely something that's really important in a relationship and something that's missing from a lot of relationships, like open, clear communication. If you really listen to what your partner is saying or how they're feeling, then you can kind of use that to improve your relationship. It's just like relationships are work. So, that's really good that he provided that feedback.
But she
more attention to these dates.
Huh? I know she refused to listen to it.
Yeah,
and was still fighting it.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Okay.
Well,
let's talk about LaShonda and Sean.
Okay, LaRonda.
LaRonda. It is LaRonda, but for some reason I have LaShonda and Sean. I don't know about these two.
Well, no, introduce the couple.
I'm going to introduce them. She's the corporate America. She's corporate America. She's established in her career. She's established in her finances. They've been together for 4 years. And Sean, he's a comedian. He's an artist.
I thought they were together for 3 years.
When I looked on there,
it said 4.
Yeah, it said 4. Him.
Okay.
And then I guess Sean, he's a comedian. He's an actor. He's an artist.
He's an entertainer, self-proclaimed entertainer.
Yes, and he's waiting to establish his profession and get financially stable because, as you guys know, entertainers, their income goes with the flow unless you have an established TV show, established routine. And I guess he doesn't, and he wants to have that before he proposes to her. But she's just like, it doesn't matter. I kind of see why he's hesitant. She's a very strong woman. Her personality is very strong, very authoritative to me. And he's more emotional. He's more affectionate. And we could see that during their, when we first meet them. So I could see why he needs to have some bread in the game, because then she would be all powerful, because there's always a dominant personality in a relationship.
I mean, I don't think I don't think that's why he was saying he wanted to be established. I think it's just that, I think as a man, most men do want to be stable before they do certain things like get married, have children, those types of things. So
yeah, but
we don't know what his situation is, but he could be very variable in his, career to the point where he may not be, working a lot. So, he probably just wants to be, but I think the good thing is that he wants to marry her. This isn't a situation where he's like, I'm not sure if I want to marry her. He said he has his proposal speech already written.
I think it's an excuse.
Huh?
I think it's an excuse. He's never going to be, he's an entertainer.
Well, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know his situation. Of course, all of these people have excuses. So, I think to say like anybody's rationale is good is not correct. But I think that's just what he wants to be. But I believe that he does want to be married to her. He seemed like he was hesitant in that at all. Like he had doubts about that.
I think that she's very controlling. I think it's a lot of things just from her personality. A lot of things.
I don't think you can say that by someone what you think someone's personality is in 30 minutes. I didn't see her.
I see that. I see that little comments that she made. Even Dr. Nicole called her on a couple of those comments and said, "Oh, that's controlling. You're trying to control the situation by making little veiled threats." And she goes, "Is that a threat or are you trying to control?" She goes, "I'm not trying. It's not a threat." She's like, "But then it's controlling. So every time he says something, you don't want him to say."
What was the comment?
The comment she made was like, he said something about the date. And he said his date, this is when we get into the date. He said the date was, the person he was dating was almost too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
She took offense to that and made some comment towards that. And that's when Dr. Nicole spoke up.
Oh yeah, her comment was, if she was too perfect, why wouldn't you want to go out with her again? I mean, I agree. Like, if she was perfect, if she was your idea of perfect, why wouldn't you want to continue to date her? Because to have a second date with her.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that was his reason. So, I mean, I understood that. That made sense to me. Like that, I think that's a valid question to ask.
But no, I wish I would have written it down what she said. It was like a comment.
Mm.
But she was super nice when the date came to the door.
Yeah, she gave her.
She was welcoming and so forth. I would not have been as welcoming. I don't think I would have hugged the person. But by being upfront, welcoming, coming there and showing yourself, it kind of lets that other lady know, I'm in the picture. You know what I mean? I'm in the picture. Say hello to me. Don't cross any lines. I mean, to me, making your presence known is good, especially for somebody that's dating your significant other. I couldn't do it. But yeah, she did it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about his date. So his date was
hiking.
Oh, was it Rachel?
Hiking.
Rachel, and they went for a hike.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about the date.
That's about it in the date. They went hiking. They sat down, talked for a minute. He was sweating a little bit. She brought a handkerchief out, something out, paper towel, I don't know what, patted him dry. And they continued to talk. And that's when he said during the date, in his mind, off camera, that it was too perfect. And she was talking about it, she's an entrepreneur. She's starting a hair care line. And that was all her hair. I was like, wow, that's beautiful. Her hair was beautiful. And that she too is an entrepreneur, and that they're having a good time. And he talked about taking off his shirt and so forth, and they laughed about that. And then it abruptly ended. They didn't show them leaving or anything. It just ended. That was it. We didn't hear nothing else. I was like, okay. And that was it. It was a rather okay kind of day. Nothing exciting.
Yeah, it was the first date, and it was their first time going out with anybody, outside their relationship that we know of. So, I think was Sean the one that's okay? Sean. Oh, wait. Okay, was Sean the one who said that he had some anxiety about this because of the way he started off the relationship? Was that him?
Well, Sean has anxiety. Sean said he had anxiety about dating other people because of past relationships, but they didn't go
past relationships. Okay, I thought he meant like something that happened with them in the past. Okay,
but they didn't go into it.
Okay,
and I was like, what happened? But they didn't go into
about it. Yeah,
yeah, but they'll talk about it later on. I
mean, I think they're a really cute couple, and yeah, I mean, so far, I would think that like they have a good chance of working out. I think one good thing is that she didn't really seem to have, I mean, she didn't say anything about his career or anything like that. And so, I mean, I just feel like you said, that's an excuse. I mean, understanding that you want to be able to provide for your family, but it sounds like whatever they're doing now is working, and it's working for her. And so I feel like if she's okay with it, she's supporting you through whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, then kind of go with it,
I totally agree.
Or like, at least if you say that you have, like, you want to be more stable, what's your plan to become more stable? And like, when do you think you'll achieve it? Like, how do you measure achieving that goal? because I mean, you could just be indefinite. Like, you know, you may never think that you're ready. So I wonder if he's communicated a plan with her as to like what he wants to do. Like, is it that he gets a recurring role in the show? How realistic is that, you know?
And
Especially
how long would that show
in
go on
business,
anyway?
and you're in Atlanta. So like, how much do you think you're gonna get to do there? Like, I could see if you're in LA or something where there's a lot of opportunities, but I mean, there's a Tyler Perry Studios, but I feel like we need, at some point, we need to be a little realistic. And is there anything else you can do in that sector, like maybe teach acting school or something, and then on the side you can do stand up at locals, whatever. But like, what's your plan?
Right,
I
right.
think get into that a little more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to do the last couple?
So our last couple is Eric and Jessica. They've been together for 4 years. They met because he slid in her DMs. He's an ex-football player, and he's not ready to commit. But he's not ready for a lot of things, like getting rid of his hair. Like, just
wow. Well, she's an entrepreneur. That's what they said. She's an entrepreneur. I don't know what she sells or so forth. But yeah, I don't think he's ready. I think he misses that spotlight of being a football player and all the women
we have to define what like, how long were you in the league? Like, was it just a year or
because he's not living really lavishly, are they?
It's not about living lavishly, but it's just like, I mean, all football players don't make huge salaries. So
true.
And also, like, some of them, when they make their money, they spend it, you know, because they didn't have it before. So that's not what I meant, but I'm just curious as to how long he was in the league and what he's doing now.
Well, they did say that, I don't know about the length of time, but in regards to their relationship, when they were going out, when they first started dating, he had 2 or 3 other women on the side that he was dating too.
Yeah.
And she was well aware of it.
But he kind of implied that they weren't serious, at least when he was on the way he spoke about it, when he was on the date with the person he was on the date with, but we'll get to that. So, okay. So
she has trust issues. We all know that.
Together, yeah, she has trust issues. And his date's name was
Shamara,
yeah. And she came over, she came upstairs, and Jessica was just kind of like, oh, you know, what, you just come in my house. Even though, like, I feel like he like invited her upstairs, and she was like, hello, how are you doing? So I thought it was kind of like a rude way to approach someone you already knew that was coming to your house.
These people act like they didn't know these men were going to go on dates.
Yeah, I don't know. But Shamara, she seemed to be pretty well put together. But I didn't like how she was. I just feel like if you're gonna go on a date with somebody else's man, even though it's like, you know, arranged and you knew this was gonna happen, they knew this was gonna happen, be respectful, you know, to the other woman.
Oh, you didn't think she was respectful?
Well, not to her face, yes, but when she was leaving, she was just like, "Oh, you have a curfew," and
That was funny, though. That was funny. She said, "Be back in an hour." that was funny. And she wasn't complaining about that hour neither.
Right, but the way the girl reacted about it, and it's just
but like, he's a grown man. You come back when you want to come back.
Yeah, but he's in a relationship. So.
Yeah, he's in a relationship.
She should have respected that.
She's trying to get a man herself.
Well, she should try to get a man that's not taken.
Yeah.
That's another
That's
thing I want to talk about. Like, would you be going on a date with somebody that's already in a relationship?
No.
I wouldn't do it to try to seriously find a man. Like, if it's just like, oh, we need people on the show to go on a date with these men whose girlfriends already know, and I'm single, then I might be like, okay, yeah, I'll go on the date. But I'm not about to look for a man with somebody else, like somebody else is in a relationship, and
I found that so weird.
trying to think about getting married. Like, I'm
Totally agree.
in dating. You're in a relationship. Oh.
Totally agree. I was
I
dumbfounded.
mean, like, if you do that to your girl now, even though she agreed to it, how do I know that you won't go off and do that once we?
And furthermore, Shamara had the nerve to say, I'm looking to settle down with somebody. As she was walking to the door, I'm looking to settle down with somebody, a husband. I was like, you're on the wrong show, honey.
Exactly. So that just, yeah, that's surprising to me. I did have, I think, okay, so Shamara asked about like basically why he was doing this. And he said that, they had like issues in a relationship. And she asked whether or not there was any infidelity. And that's when he brought up that, um, he was seeing multiple women. And he kind of implied that like, he wasn't like locked down with anybody. So, he was just dating around. Like he's just in the dating phase and seeing, and which even, I guess, even if, you're not exclusive, if you know that the other person is dating other people, it does kind of, I guess it would give you some kind of insecurities. But he never admitted to like actually like cheating on her once they were exclusive or anything. But she goes on to say that she couldn't like date someone who's dating around, and she wants men to be, I think she said, honest with her. And he says that women can't take a man being honest. So what are your thoughts on that?
Men can't take women being honest.
I think
it's hard for people
between not being able to take honesty. I guess we can look at it two different ways, because the example he gave was different than the situation they were talking about. So as far as like a man being honest about seeing other people, I feel like you can't really say that a woman can't take that. It's her choice whether or not she wants to be in that situation or not. So I don't feel like it's right for a man to make that decision for a woman, to say like, oh, she wouldn't like it.
It's not fair to make that decision for anybody, to make that decision for anybody.
Yeah, you have to be transparent and say like, hey, I'm not ready to settle down. I'm seeing other people. And if she's open to that, then she'll stay around. She'll go out on dates with you. If she's not, she should have the right to exit the relationship. But that doesn't mean that she can't accept you being honest. It just means that she's choosing the right decision for her. The example that he brought up was just like, I guess, being direct and like basically saying that men have to like tiptoe around a woman's feelings in how he communicates things. I just think, to me, it's just like the approach. Like, I feel like women can sometimes be more delicate in saying things that may be hurtful, whereas men aren't. And that doesn't mean that they're not open to honesty. It's just that you have to like kind of reframe the way you say something so that it's not as hurtful, but it doesn't mean that they don't want you to be honest with them. It even if it initially stings, I think they'll think about it, and then they can always
also too, if you really think about it, nobody wants to be told, if you're dating somebody, that, hey, I'm going to be dating other people, man or woman. Most women will forgive their man if they cheat. They do. A lot of women will forgive men for cheating.
Mm.
But if a man finds out that his woman cheated, that might be a totally different story.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so it's both things. Men don't want to find out that their woman is seeing somebody else, and women don't want to find out that their man is seeing somebody else.
Well, I think it's a difference between finding out, because finding out means that you weren't honest to begin with about what you're.
They don't want to be told. They don't want to be told.
Oh, well, see, if I was first dating someone, I would naturally expect them to be seeing other people, or I wouldn't care, like, because I haven't developed any feelings for them.
Mm-hmm.
Certain point, once those feelings are starting to develop, then we need to have a conversation about what kind of relationship we're in. Are we in an exclusive relationship? Are you still dating other people?
The fact that they live together, they should have had that discussion, but yet Jessica feels a certain way.
Yeah,
She still
I think
feels
it's
that
because of the beginning. If I don't know, if I understood correctly, I think it's because of the beginning of their relationship.
Mm-hmm. I totally
And
agree.
probably the fact that he was a football player, and that she thinks that he's attractive and probably attracts women. But maybe those are all insecurities she has. She's a very beautiful woman. But I guess that doesn't make you feel more secure necessarily.
Right. She said that
Just
when
like
they met,
shady women out here. They're just women who just don't care that men are in relationships. And I think that's kind of what you have to be afraid of. Just, I guess, I don't know.
Same for men. Men are out there. They don't care if a woman's been in a relationship. But I think that's why she said, when they all met as a group, she said, he's out here. He wants to be a hoe and run out in the streets. That's what he wants to do. And she feels like this show is giving him that excuse to run out there.
And I think it also depends on what his stance on marriage is. I mean, it sounds like he said that they weren't ready. So he was really not ready to commit. I think that puts an extra layer of insecurity on. Mm-hmm. Like, well, why don't you want to commit to me? Is it because you want to be with other people? And given this opportunity to date other people, I can see where the anxiety comes in at there.
Right. But do you notice he said something after Dr. Nicole said something about fear? It really hit him, because he says her relationship with him is rooted in fear, and he doesn't want it rooted in fear. So this is the one time I think that dating other people might help, if he behaves during those dates and she gets to see, oh, he's gone out with multiple women, and yet he comes back to me and he doesn't do anything with them. Then it can release her fear and anxiety, because now he's been tested.
Yeah.
So what did you think, how she felt when Dr. Nicole said, so do you want to go out with Shamira again? And he said, he thought about it. He goes, no. And she got all happy and smiled.
Yeah.
I was like, poor thing. And
he basically, did he say about Shamara that he felt like he wouldn't get
it? Had it
that he already
several
had
times. Yeah, he could have had it that night and into the morning.
That's what he said.
But that he didn't take it. I didn't think she was wanting to give him all that.
She didn't seem like she would have. She already said, like, I'm not into, people dating people.
But that's after he said that, that's when she said, that's what he wants to do. He wants to be hoeing in this, he wants to be running the street, hoeing the street like his friends are still doing. And so, but he said no, he didn't want to go out with her again. Probably because she definitely wanted more than just to be a one-night stand, because he was just enjoying himself, wasn't he? And he gave her a hug. I'd have been like, there's no hugging, there's no touching, and there's no kissing. No sharing of contact information.
What did that first guy say? No kissing, no licking, no sticking.
And he sounded like crazy and he sounded like a child when he was talking about it too.
But
But
okay, so at the end of the show, they have to decide, or when they meet back up, they have to decide whether or not they want to go on a second date with the person they went on a date with, or if they want to date someone else. So two of the guys, was it Eric and Sean, said that they did not want to go on a second date with the women that they went on a date with. Eric's excuse was that he felt like he wasn't going to get anything different than what he already had. Sean's excuse was that the woman was too perfect. And so we're still waiting for Darion to provide his answer as to whether or not he wants to go on a new date, a second date or not. So
I have a feeling he is, because this beautiful young chick with the curvy, luscious shape, I think he said he loves breasts too.
okay.
Was all up on him, smile, flirting, talking about, what they could do and all this and all that. And so, yeah, he was hand was all up on his face. He had his hands on his face and just being, she's just ridiculous. He was being extra. That's what he was being. On that date, he was being extra. And so he's gonna go out with her again, because he told her, you're the type of girl that Hollywood guys be going after and so forth. No, she looked like the type of,
At the pause.
So yeah. So, he told her that you look like the type of girl that, we would see at Hollywood parties, something like that. And she just took that as a compliment and so forth. So he's gonna go out with her again. Watch, next week, they'll be going out again. And his girl is gonna get angry.
Oh yeah, she'll definitely be angry. Okay, so next week the women will go on their dates. I hope they find attractive men because I think I saw previews of the show, and some of the guys that the women were on dates with, I'm just like, ooh, I don't know. Some of the men were not as attractive. Some of the dates looked a little corny. So hopefully the women get set up with men that they can actually see themselves with, so that this can be a really interesting season.
Yes, it does look from the previews that it's going to be an interesting season. It does. So I'm excited to see what it has to offer this season.
Yeah, I am too. Well, guys, join us next week or later this week for episode 2. And in the meantime, don't forget to like our page, like our videos, subscribe to our page, hit the notification bell, and comment below.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.